Welcome to episode 4 of the JC Mosley FC podcast, where we are obsessed with football. We are glad to be back. I'm Elliot, here with Christian. How are you today, Christian?
Doing great, man. Excited for another episode
Me too.
4 today
Me too. It's
of
going to be a good
the
one.
Jesse Mosley FC podcast. You're
It's going to
excited
be a good
about that?
one. Yeah, we're here today to talk about international football that's happening this summer. That'll be starting here in just a few days. We've got the Euros, and then we have Copa America later in the summer as well. Although I think that starts fairly soon. Um,
Yeah. So essentially, the Euros start before the Copa America. It starts this Friday, the 14th. And then you have obviously the big tournament, the Euros, that start. Sorry, the Copa America that will start on the 20th of June. So
yeah,
that's very exciting. Two big tournaments this summer. Really excited about that.
yeah. I mean, obviously, for me, I have a much more invested interest in the Euros because my country's playing in the Euros. But we'll get more into that. I don't want to make this an England episode. This is going to be a Euros episode, and I'm not going to dominate the conversation with talking about England. But yeah, it's going to be good. Let's. Why don't we just go ahead and jump right in? We'll start talking about the Euros. All right. So, as we mentioned there in the intro just a few seconds ago, the Euros begin this coming Friday. As we're recording, it is Saturday. So, 6 days, 7 days until the tournament
Yeah.
starts.
Yeah, exciting.
I personally am really, really excited. I always get very excited for international tournaments that England are involved in. Even though it doesn't always end great, but I think just there's something about the Euros that is just so much fun to watch. We always get great games. It gives us a chance to see some teams that maybe wouldn't get to a World Cup because they miss out on qualifying. But yeah, I'm really excited for this tournament. I think it's going to be good. I think I'm gonna have to try and detach my England fan self from my football fan self here a little bit because obviously, I want England to win. Of course I do.
Yeah, absolutely. So essentially, yeah, it's a big tournament, the Euros. I watched it. I mean, I remember my first Euros. I was 8 years old, 2004, and then the first game I actually watched the Euros was England and France. I don't know if you remember that game, Elliot. England and France with Beckham and Zidane, and then I think England was winning like 1-0 until the very last minute, and Zidane scored, and then France won beat them. That was the very first Euro game I've ever watched, and then since then I've always loved that tournament. It's to me, it's like after the World Cup, is the greatest tournament, international tournament for football, of course, um, because you have the best teams, you have the best European teams playing each other, and it's always exciting. The
Mm-hmm.
the quality of the game is like amazing. Uh, I'm not trying to like talk bad about other tournaments or like I mean, as an African, I love my the Afcon. But for example, like you're gonna see the best teams. You rather watch Spain, Portugal, those big teams, and then it always like make sure that the level of play is always really high because I mean, when you watch like Concacaf, for example, like the Gold Cup. I mean, no offense to Haiti and like Belize or those countries, right? Like it's not the same level of play. Even the Copa America. I mean, obviously Copa America is very, very like strong, but when you play like Bolivia and then I know they have like some newcomers like Canada, for example. And no offense to Canada. I'm not trying to offend anybody what listen to our podcast, but I'm just being very honest here that
Yeah,
the European tournament is just the best. So I'm very excited about this tournament, and obviously, Elliot, we wish the best to England. um, I hope that they go as far as possible. Maybe this is the year. It's always
yeah.
like every time, like every year, it's like maybe this is the year, and eventually someday it's gonna happen.
I
One of
really
those
hope
things.
so. I mean, so the last tournament, um, obviously England did go almost all the way, just quite. No, we couldn't quite do the win the final thing, which is very annoying and I'm still very upset about to this day. Um, but I mean, I really felt like that was our best opportunity to win a tournament. I mean, the final was at Wembley in England. You know, like with that against a team in Italy that hadn't qualified for the previous World Cup, and then subsequently did not qualify for the 2022 World Cup. um, and I mean, they had a great tournament, but there's something about the way that England played in that game. We scored early, kind of sat back, and that gave them the initiative. They scored, took it to penalties, and England in penalties. We kind of all know how that's going to go. So I don't know. My expectations are quite low because that's just how it is. I mean, I don't know if we're going to do great, but my hopes are very high, and I think we have. You know, I was looking at kind of the betting odds for the favourites going into the tournament, and England are the odds-on favourite to win the tournament,
Yeah.
followed by France, Germany, Spain, and then Portugal. Um, but you know, France have a great team. You know, got to the World Cup final 2022, World Cup winners 2018. You know, Mbappe's just moving to Real Madrid. Is going to be part of that insane super team that we're going to see next season. I mean, they've got such a good team and such depth in their squad as well. I mean, you look at like every position in that French team, they've got two, maybe three players for every position that can play and that could start at whatever club they play for. You know,
Absolutely. Yeah.
and you know, I mean, you kind of look at Germany as well. Germany hosting the tournament, that typically does tend to favor, you know, the hosts of the tournament do tend to go further, kind of historically, I guess. I don't know. I don't know about Germany though. What do you think? Because I was a little bit surprised to see them ahead of Spain and Portugal on the favorites list.
About like Germany.
Yeah.
Yeah, I really think that Germany. I mean, for me, to me, I think they're gonna win the tournament. You know, I know we talked about it like briefly one of the episodes, the previous episodes, and I was telling you that I believe that Germany has the best chance because they're playing at home, and also they're gonna have the fighting spirit and like the kind of revenge, like they're kind of like avenging their previous failures because Germany is known to be like that great team that beats everybody and goes at least the semifinals, or like they always go far in tournaments. And the past pretty much four tournaments, the last great tournaments they had was in 2016 at the Euros when they went to the semifinals, and then since then they've not been good. They've been like terrible actually. They got out of the group stages twice in a row. Like that's never heard of. That's unheard
Mm-hmm.
of for Germany. And they're gonna play at home now. They're gonna have to prove to their countrymen that they are the best. They're still Germany. And also the coach, like that coach is amazing. I've always been impressed with how he sets up his team. He's amazing. He's very young too, so like I'm excited about to see what he's gonna do. And I think it's his first international tournament, so we'll see how he does it. But they have experience of that team. They have Neuer that is still there. I don't know how, but he's still there, and he's the best German goalkeeper. And then you have Muller. Then you have Kai Havertz. You have those players that are really like becoming superstars right now, and they have really good potential. So to me, I mean, I'm not really surprised, Elliot, that Germany is that ranked that high. I really believe that they're going. I mean, they're my favorites to win the tournament. And then
Interesting.
obviously, we have England. Uh, England is always like out there. I mean, the past 4 years now, they've been like 6 years actually since 2018. They've been among the favorites for every tournament. Their team is stacked with superstars, like players that are amazing. And it will be a shame they don't win this tournament, Elliot. Like they have everything. They have all the tools to win the tournament. But they're definitely like I'm not surprised they're like the favorites of the tournament with the team they have. And then we obviously have France that is always there. They have Mbappe, they have Griezmann, they have Olivier Giroud, they have amazing players that can make a difference at any point of time. And Conte is back to when
I
you have
see.
Conte on your
Yeah,
team, like it's a plus. Like no, I
yeah,
don't care where he plays. He can play in China. He can play on the moon. Like it's Conte, you know. So if you have Conte on the team, you have a really good
yeah,
chance of like winning the tournament.
yeah,
And then obviously Portugal, the good old Portugal. Let's not forget about this team. Like Ronaldo, almost 40 years old and scoring like goals. Even if he's Saudi Arabia, like it doesn't matter. You know, he's still like scoring amazing goals. He's always there. And then you have the team, Bruno Fernandes. That you have, like, I can go on with that team.
yeah,
How many players? Rafael Leao, Joao Felix. Like, it's stacked. So that's the team
hmm
that we have to watch too. That they can definitely win the tournament.
yeah.
And
I think
yeah,
Portugal is going to be one that might surprise people with how well they do. I think
mhm.
obviously, they won the tournament in 2016, um, probably against the odds. I don't think anyone had them as favorites that year,
No.
especially beating France in the final. Um, I don't think anybody really would have predicted that. But yeah, like you said, I mean, they've got a very talented squad. They've got a lot of talent. They've got a lot of good players playing at top clubs in Europe. And I think you're right. I think they could be one that is they talk about the dark horse of these tournaments. They could be the dark horses a little bit because you know like you said, like you're saying. I mean, England and France, their squads are stacked. Portugal, I mean, they have a lot of good players, but I would personally argue that their squad is not quite as stacked as England and France squad.
Mhm.
Um, but yeah, I think they're gonna they're gonna be one to watch for sure.
So who is your favorite to win the tournament, Elliot? Like, who do you think is gonna win the tournament? Like, don't be biased. If you see England, it's totally fine. But like, let's just say,
Well,
like, realistically, who do you think is gonna win?
I I want to say England, but the reason I probably won't, I don't think our defending or our defenders are that there's still a lot of question marks for me about our defenders. Yesterday, so Friday, we played a friendly against Iceland and we lost. I mean, Iceland ranked 72nd in the world. We had a team that was close to what our starting 11 is going to be, and I think certainly it was close to our starting defense. Um, but we just didn't play well. It didn't come together very well. The players didn't look up for it. There was question marks about the goal that we conceded, and I just worry going into this tournament, even though we have such a wealth of attacking talent, and the midfield and the forwards pick itself, and it's harsh to leave the players on the bench that are going to get left on the bench, but the defense for me is still where we have a little bit of question marks. And that's why I think probably it's going to be France would be my pick for the tournament winners.
Yeah,
Unfortunately, I mean, I don't want them to, but I think it's gonna be them. I think
yeah,
defensively they are better than us. They've got strong attackers. They have a lot more experience going further into competitions over the last 7-8 years. I mean, obviously England has done well in international tournaments, but France were in the final of the Euros 2016, World Cup final 2018, World Cup final 2022. They've been in the big games, and the Euros
yeah.
is the one that has eluded them a little bit. They obviously they've come close, but haven't won. What was it? 2000 maybe was
2000.
the
Yeah,
last time they
they
won the
beat
Euros.
Italy. Yeah.
So
I don't
um,
obviously I don't remember. I was 4 years old, but yeah,
yeah, so that's for them. That's a long wait. England have never won the Euros. I just think they've got that experience in those tournament settings to know how to navigate that. And for me, I think they would be the team that I would bet to win if I had to bet, even though I would hope that I'm wrong and I would lose money because England will win.
Yeah, definitely. I mean, that's always like that. I mean, during the AFCON, for example, I mean, my heart was Ivory Coast. I was like, we're gonna win the tournament at home. But then I think in my head I was like probably Morocco was my favorite because of like their World Cup run, and then also not just because of that, because they were stacked. They had a really good team,
Mm.
and then at the end of the day, Ivory Coast won. So hopefully, that'll be the same thing for this Euros. But as I said before, my favorite is definitely Germany. I think they're gonna play at home. I think that they're gonna win the tournament at home.
Yeah,
Um, but you never know. We'll see what happens.
we'll see what
But then,
happens.
do you want to go now, like for each group, and then decide who's gonna go finish fourth, third, and second for each group, and first, of
Yeah,
course.
yeah.
Okay.
So Group A is Germany, Scotland, Hungary, and Switzerland. Um, I mean, I think you'd be crazy not to put Germany top of the group. Um, I think Switzerland will finish second. I think Switzerland have a decent team. Um, they're one of those teams that knows how to score goals and sit back and frustrate teams that play against them, and they know how to get a result. So for me, it would be Germany, Switzerland. I think Scotland would come third, and I think Hungary will come fourth. Because I can
So,
pretty much only name
like,
about two Hungarian players, to be honest.
yeah. So I'm gonna totally go against what you said right here earlier.
Okay.
So for Group A is gonna be very interesting. I will go with Hungary as first,
Okay.
and I don't know if you've watched them play lately, but don't just look at like it's Hungary, like nobody cares about them. Like I watched them lately, and I think they're gonna be the dark horse of this
Hmm.
tournament. I mean, I still think Germany's gonna win the tournament, but they're gonna go like far. I'm sure you watched them in 2020. Like do you see how they play? How they've been playing. They've been amazing. So I think I'm gonna predict Hungary first. I know this is crazy, but Hungary is gonna go first. Then Germany. Then I'm gonna go with Scotland third, and I'm gonna go with Switzerland last.
Okay.
Switzerland, I've not been convincing lately the way they've been playing, and I mean, we got tournaments have upsets, so I feel like this is gonna be like one of those things where Switzerland is gonna just do a terrible tournament. So yeah, as I said before,
Okay.
Hungary, Germany, Scotland, and then Switzerland.
Yeah. Okay. Fair enough. Should we move
Yeah.
on to Group B?
Uh-huh.
I'll let you go first this time. We've got Spain, Croatia, Italy, and Albania.
So here I see no problem with Spain. Spain is gonna be first, and then I see Croatia second, and I see Italy third, and Albania fourth. Yeah, just because that Spain team, I don't even want to mess with them. And then yeah, Croatia always good, and Italy, they have been terrible the past couple of years, so I don't expect them to go far in this tournament. So I'll be third. Yeah.
Hmm.
What about you, Ali?
You know what? I actually would. I was thinking the exact same thing. I was thinking Spain's probably going to win. You'd expect them to win all of their group games, or at least two wins and a draw. Um, Croatia, again, they've still got players from the World Cup final team of 2018. They've got those players that have the experience in these international tournaments. They just know how to get the job done. I think Italy will come third, but I do think so. Obviously, with the way the tournament works, we've got the four best third place teams will also qualify. So I
Mm-hmm.
think Italy's going to be one of those four third place teams that just about gets through.
Mm-hmm.
And I don't know. I don't see Albania winning any of their games, to be honest. Maybe they'll get a draw in one, but
Yeah.
I don't know. That's
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. I have to agree with you.
Okay, so Group C. You want to go first?
Yeah. So we got Slovenia, Denmark, Serbia, and England. Don't care what anyone is going to say. I'm putting England top. um, we've just shown that we know how to navigate these group stages in these tournaments recently. I think we'll do the job. I think we'll win the group. I would say I'd be disappointed if we don't. I would then put Denmark in second. I think Denmark there's something about Denmark at the Euros, like that tournament in 1992, I think it was, when they didn't even qualify, but then another team dropped out and they ended up winning the whole thing.
Hmm.
Like it was just crazy. Um, I think it was 1992. Yeah. But
Yeah, 1992. Yeah, yeah,
I think they have a pretty good squad. They have decent players, and I think looking at the other teams in that group, um, I think they're probably going to be the second best. I think we've got Serbia in third and Slovenia in fourth. That's what I'm thinking.
So I will go with England at first. I really don't see them like struggling in this group, and I'll go Denmark second. I'll go Serbia third, and then Slovenia fourth.
Okay, so we agree on that one.
Yeah,
I like that you threw the upset in there on Group A.
yeah,
Because you're right, there always is an upset in these tournaments.
yeah. You can never expect things to go smoothly. Like the big teams like win. Like the 2022 World Cup was crazy, man. Like
Mm,
I never would have thought this would happen. So like right now, I'm like every tournament, even the Afcon too. Like so now every tournament, I'm like okay, I want to throw one or two upsets out there, just in case,
yeah,
because
I've got one coming. I've got my eye on one in one of the later groups. We'll get there in a minute.
yeah. So
Let's
the
look at
Group
Group
D,
D. Yeah,
yeah, that's.
Netherlands, France,
Mhm.
Poland, and Austria. Why don't you take that one first?
Yeah, I think that this group is probably the toughest group. Um, yeah, I think I think this is the group of death if you have to pick one. Netherlands and France. I don't know why they always find a way to play each other in Europe, in the European competitions. Um, but yeah, I'll go with France here. I mean, I don't see an upset. Like France is just too good. I mean, I'm not expecting to win all the games necessarily, but I expect them to be top of this group. And then I see Netherlands second. Yeah, Netherlands is they went to quarterfinal, almost beat Argentina in the World Cup 2022. So I expect them to to finish at least second here. And then I'm gonna go with Austria here, another upset. Uh, Lewandowski, I mean, he's a great player, but this is what makes this game special is that it doesn't matter if you have the best player on your team. It's a team sport, and you have to win together. You have to play together, win together. You lose together, you win together. So unfortunately for Poland, I mean, I know they barely qualify for this tournament anyway. So I'll go with Austria. Austria has a really good team. They have. I mean, I don't know if Alaba is playing because I know he was injured for the majority of the season. I don't know if he's playing this tournament,
I'm not
but I
sure.
see
Yeah.
Austria finishing third and then Poland last.
Okay. Yeah. This one I think. I mean, yeah. You hear about the group of death. I don't think we really have as clear of a group of death as we've had maybe at other tournaments.
Yeah,
But I know I think Netherlands and France are going to end up on the same amount of points, and it's going to come down to their how they did against each other or goal difference. I forget what the first tiebreaker is.
yeah, it's the goal difference,
It's the
and
goal
I think the next
difference.
one is like the yellow cards.
Okay,
Oh no, wait.
is it the
Yeah, I think
head?
the first one is goal difference, and the second one is like head to head,
Yeah,
like like whoever scored the most goals whenever you guys played against each other, and then
yeah.
the yellow cards. Yeah.
So I honestly think they'll end on the same points, and I think France will probably finish top, but it'll be that close. It'll be on goal difference, or it'll be on head to head, or one of those stats. But yeah, Netherlands in second, pushing them all the way. Um, and I have to agree with you on this one. I think Poland they've got players that are well known that are playing at the top clubs, but they've just not been able to do it in international tournaments. Um, they just don't have a lot of experience, I suppose, at kind of going far in tournaments. And like you said, they managed to qualify through the playoffs. I think wasn't it? It was the playoffs. I think they qualified through, right?
Hmm.
Um, so I I don't. I think they'll finish. I think they'll finish fourth, and I think Austria will finish third. I agree with you on that one.
Okay, perfect. So the next group is Group E. So we have Ukraine, Slovakia, sorry, Belgium, and Romania. That's
Yeah,
no offense to those teams. This is kind of a boring group.
I think it is on the surface, but this is where I'm going to throw in my upset. So
Okay.
I I think I just have a feeling that Belgium's not going to do well. I have a, I know they still have good players, but it's nowhere near the team and the squad that they've had for previous tournaments.
Hmm.
Some of their, the players that have played at those previous tournaments that are still in the squad, talking about players like De Bruyne, who's still, I mean, De Bruyne is still amazing. Don't get me wrong. Lukaku, some of these other players that have been in that squad for a long time. But they've also had, like previously, they've just had quality in every area of the pitch, and now I'm not seeing. I personally am not seeing that in to the same degree that they've had before.
Hmm.
So I'm gonna put Belgium third in this group, and maybe they get one of
Nice.
those four third place finishes to qualify. Um, I think we're gonna see a good tournament from Ukraine. I don't know why I say it,
Hmm.
I, but I have a feeling that they'll do quite well. I think they could win that group. And I think Slovakia is going to come second. I think Romania is going to come fourth. Although I don't know. Again, now I'm saying it out loud. I'm questioning myself. Maybe I'm wrong. This is just predictions. I shouldn't overthink it as much as I'm thinking about
I
it.
mean,
But
like nobody thought that Belgium would be out of the group stages and Morocco would be in the semifinal. Like nobody expected that to happen. So like
yeah,
anything can happen, and this is the beauty of the sport is that any team can really win the tournament when you think about it.
hmm
Like best players, best team that they don't always win. So that's we'll see
yeah.
what happens. Yeah.
So that would be my prediction. I think
Okay.
Ukraine
So for my
top,
prediction
Slovakia
for Group
second.
E,
Yeah.
sorry, you were saying something?
No, I was just going to say Ukraine top, Slovakia second, Belgium third, and Romania fourth. That's my prediction for that group with the upset thrown in there.
Okay. Okay, perfect. So as for me, I think we'll go with Belgium. I don't see anything happening here. I mean, I've seen the squad right now; they're pretty good. They've been playing really well the past few months, and and the teams that like have something to prove, or like they have something to prove to the world and be like, okay, we are still Belgium. We're still a top team in Europe after the disaster in 2022. I really think that they're gonna go ahead here and top the group. So I say Belgium, I, and I agree with you that Ukraine is gonna do a good tournament. So I see Ukraine second, and I go with Slovakia. I don't know why I keep saying Slovakia. Slovakia finishing third, and then we have Romania fourth. And then we
Okay.
have the last group, very interesting group: Portugal, Czechia, Georgia, and Turkey. Turkey,
Yeah.
yeah. So, who do you think is gonna How do you think is gonna go with this group, Elliot?
Yeah. I mean, I don't think Portugal's going to have any problems topping the group. I think they'll finish top. Um, we've spoken about them already. I think I think we'll see Czechia finish second, Turkey third, and Georgia fourth. And this is one of those groups where I feel like the top two maybe are a little bit easier to predict, and then you don't really know what you're going to get from the rest.
Mm-hmm.
But I don't know. I don't think Georgia's going to have much to celebrate this tournament. Unfortunately, sorry to any Georgians out there. um, I think Turkey will finish third, but they probably won't have a great tournament, um,
Yeah,
or a
I agree
great group
with you on
stage at
this one
least. I
too.
don't know.
Yeah, I totally agree with you on this group. Actually, I think this is the only one that we have all the same answers. So we have Portugal, then we have Czechia, then we have Turkey, and then we have Georgia as last. So at least we have one group that we both agree on. So that's very exciting. But so then lastly for the predictions, who do you think is gonna come best third? of these tournaments because obviously you already have your top four, your best four, and sorry, your best three for each group. But who do you
Yeah,
think is gonna come out of? I think that they need like, correct me if I'm wrong, but I think it's there's only two that
there's two.
are
Yeah,
the best. The only the best. Okay, the best third teams, right? There's
yeah.
only two of them, or there's four of them.
It's
I don't
four.
remember. There's four.
Four of the six groups will have a
Oh,
third
okay,
place
gotcha.
team through. Yeah.
Okay.
Um. Well, I mean, looking at Group A,
hmm
I'm trying to remember what my prediction was for that now.
I think I remember you said it was. I
I
think you
think
said
Germany, Switzerland, Scotland, and Hungary is what I said.
yeah.
I think Scotland. Maybe I don't know. Maybe this is biased because I'm an England fan, but I don't know if Scotland's gonna get through. I think Italy in Group B. I put Italy third. I think they will get the third place spot.
hmm
I think Serbia in Group C. I think Austria in Group D, and I think Belgium in Group E. Those will be my four:
Yeah.
Italy, Serbia,
So
Austria, Belgium.
so I think that for me, I will go with Turkey on Group F. I think that they have what it takes to be able to finish at least on the best third. Um, and then I will go with Slovakia on Group E. I think they have what it takes. And then yeah, and then Austria definitely. That's the third team that I want that I see going through. And then the last team that I believe will go through will probably be Italy. So I think the third team on Group B, Italy, and then we have Group D. We have I think yeah, Austria, and then we have Group E. I think Slovakia, and then the last team will be Turkey team for me. But yeah, really exciting to
Okay.
see how our predictions will will add up, and who's gonna be right about this. So I'm really excited about this, man. And then
Yeah,
I know
and
that the next episode we're probably gonna talk about, um, you know, we obviously know who's gonna go through to the out of the group stages,
mhm.
and then we can make predictions of like who's gonna go for each stages. But obviously, you already have our favorites in mind. You have France and have Germany, but at heart, you have obviously England that you hope is gonna win the tournament. But we'll
Yeah.
see.
So I think Mbappe is going to take the golden boot for top scorer. To be honest, um, I could see Kane being in the conversation there as well. I think it has to be Mbappe though. Really, I mean, he just scores goals. That's what he does. He just scores goals all the time. I mean,
Yeah, that's what he does.
I don't know. What do you think? Who do you think is going to be the top scorer?
What about the best goalkeeper?
Oh, the best goalkeeper. I think that might be one that would surprise people. I think that might be one of those that's maybe the Portuguese goalkeeper, Jose Sa, I think or is it Rui Patricio? I forget who the starting goalkeeper is at the moment. Um, I don't know. I think that as the dark horses, for me, as the dark horses, they'll win.
Awesome.
They won't concede a lot of goals. Is my prediction. I don't know. I'm probably going to be wrong, but that's we're making predictions. That's what Jake. Um, best player. I've got to go with Jude Bellingham,
Jude Bellingham. Oh, That's
but
interesting. Jude
um,
Bellingham.
that's maybe more my emotions and my heart talking than logic. But who
Yeah.
cares? Jude Bellingham.
Okay, so we have Jude Bellingham, best player, goalkeeper. We have um, the Portuguese goalkeeper, and obviously top scorer. You have Mbappe. So mine is quite different, I think,
Okay.
and it's not because I'm a huge Ronaldo fan, but I think this guy has so much to prove because of that the previous tournament. People have been pretty much throwing me in the mud and like saying how Messi's better and like how he's finished. He has so much to prove, and that the way I've seen his form and in Saudi Arabia, and then how he tends to perform in the Euros, because apparently that's his baby, the Euros. He just scores goals in the Euros, every Euros. So I really think that the best scorer will be Ronaldo. The best goalkeeper to me, I think, would probably be Neuer, because Germany I think is gonna win the tournament. And then for best player, well, that's a tough one because there's so many talented people, and you don't really know who's gonna show up in these tournaments. But my safe bet, honestly, for this tournament would probably be, I think, Mbappe. I think he's gonna do like he's gonna do something really great before joining Germany. He's gonna try to prove himself, and then yeah. So I think best player for me, Mbappe, best goalkeeper Neuer, and then best scorer Ronaldo. So we'll see what happens.
Okay. We will see. It's going to be good. Why don't we take a break and
Yeah.
then we'll come back and talk about Copa America. Okay, we are back and we are now going to spend some time talking about Copa America, the other major international tournament that's happening this summer. Another one I think that's going to be, it's going to give us some exciting games, I think.
Yeah, Elliot, it's gonna be a like very good tournament. I'm actually still trying to attend a couple of the games. Honestly, I've been looking at the prices and stuff. Some are insanely expensive, like the one in New Jersey, Argentina playing. Obviously, every Argentina game start at $300, and that's the worst seat. Like you're all the way up there to the moon, essentially. So if you want a nice seats, you gotta like drop a grand at least. So I'm trying to see if I can go to a couple games this summer. Honestly, what about you, Elliot? Maybe.
I mean, going to an international tournament, it's on the bucket list, right? It's one of the
Yeah,
things that's
definitely.
like you want to go see. I've seen international friendlies. I've seen England play in like World Cup qualifiers and stuff, but it's not the same as the actual, the proper tournament.
Absolutely, yeah.
Um, so I think that'd be great if it works out. I'd love to go. So again, I looked at the kind of the betting odds ahead of the tournament. The two clear favorites, I think everybody could guess, is Argentina and Brazil. Argentina, the favorites, and then Brazil just behind them. The betting or the website I looked at had Uruguay, Mexico, and Colombia as the other favorites. I'm not sure I'm convinced by that, to be honest. I
I
think
know why Mexico is there. I mean, no offense to Mexicans listen to our or Mexico fans listening to our podcast, but you guys are our favorites. No offense to you. I don't see anything going on. I mean, they got trashed by Uruguay. Actually, here in Denver, I just wasn't able to go to the game, but yeah, they got trashed by Uruguay like 4-0 here in Denver. So I just, I mean, especially I don't think Ochoa is actually in the tournament. They didn't select him for some reason,
hmm,
which I think is not a good idea because this guy turns into prime Iker Casillas for every single, especially the World Cups. He's like, he
yeah,
can be like terrible all for the 4 years, but at the World Cup, he's like prime Iker Casillas, man. I don't
yeah.
know if you remember those days.
I do. I'd never heard of him until we saw him play in the World Cup. I think 20, which was it 2014, the one that he just had the insane tournament
Yeah,
where he was like a brick wall and just wouldn't was nothing was getting past him. um, yeah, I think it's between Argentina and Brazil. Of course, Argentina are the defending champions. They beat Brazil in the last final 3 years ago, 2021. Of course, that was Messi's Messi's taste of success at international level before the World Cup the year later. For me, I think I would have to put Argentina as favorites again personally. Um, for me, I just think they're going to be the ones that win it. Having said that, Brazil have a really stacked squad. I mean, we're talking about some of the European countries that have good players. Brazil's squad is stacked, and I think. I mean, I think the final is going to be Argentina against Brazil. It's going to be a case of who's going to turn up on the day. unless I don't remember exactly how the brackets work. But maybe Argentina and Brazil will come up against each other
Mhm.
earlier than that. But I think it's going to be one of those two teams that wins.
So yeah, I have to agree with you here. I think that the favorites to me for me are Argentina or Brazil. I mean, I know, like on the first episode we talked about how you know every Copa America you have to put Brazil, Argentina, no matter what. Especially when Brazil, Argentina has Messi on their side. But then my favorites, my ultimate favorites, I think is gonna be Brazil, um, because the team is more stacked than Argentina. Like Vinicius Junior, Rodrigo, all those players there, um, and then they have something to prove. Like I don't know if you notice, but every time like a team has something to prove, they always do well in tournaments. Most of the time, at least. So I really expect Brazil to go all the way to win the tournament. I actually think that Argentina is gonna have a decent tournament, but I predict that they're not gonna go past the quarterfinals. That's my prediction for that. But that's a story for another day. But definitely, I really don't think that they're gonna do a deep run as they should. But they're still obviously one of the favorites, and then maybe you can throw Colombia there because Colombia has been a beast. And actually, my fourth favorite for this tournament is the United States. I know this is like people are gonna probably come from my head and like think I'm crazy, but I really think the United States they have actually a really good team. They have a young team, and most of the players play in Europe, and they've been really great the past few years. You know, even at the World Cup, they play really well. I mean, I know they lost against the Netherlands, but the Netherlands is a different level. But they had a really good tournament in 2022,
Yeah,
and they're
well,
playing at home.
mhm.
And I know, like, I mean, the whole country's going to be behind them. So I really see the United States being among the favorites to win the tournament. So I see Brazil, Argentina, Colombia, and the United States. Those are my favorite. And
Okay,
obviously, I think Brazil's going to be the ultimate winner.
cool. Should we kind of do what we did for the Euros? Kind of look at each group individually and say who we think is gonna win. Of course, this tournament, because the US is hosting, they've added or they've expanded the tournament a little bit. So there's the 10 teams from the South American Federation, CONMEBOL. Um, they've also added the 6 teams from CONCACAF, the North and Central American Confederation as well.
Hmm.
So that means there's more teams. There's 16 teams in this tournament versus the 10 that were in the last Copa America. So gives some more people a chance to play, I suppose. We'll look at Group A. Group A is Argentina, Peru, Chile, and Canada. What do you think about that one?
So I think Argentina is going to comfortably win this group. I don't see anybody better. I mean, Chile is not the same group. It's not the same team as 2015 and 2016 when they won the Copa America. Um, so I really think that it's going to be Argentina. I see Chile. I see Canada as third and Peru as last.
Okay. Yeah, I think Argentina is going to finish top. I don't know why, but I have a feeling that Peru might come second. I'm going
Yeah.
to put them in second. Um, I'm going to put Chile in third, and I'm going to put Canada in fourth.
All right, Group B. Who do you have?
Yeah, we've got Mexico, Ecuador, Venezuela, and Jamaica. I think I think Ecuador could win that group. I think Ecuador have a pretty decent team, um, and they've got some good young players coming through. I think they're going to have a good tournament. I think they'll finish top. I think we'll see Mexico finish second. I think we will see Venezuela third, and I think Jamaica will come fourth.
Yeah. So for this group, I want to go for the huge upset here. Okay, maybe not a huge upset, but I think Ecuador. I see them finishing first. They've been really great, and then they have Caicedo there, and I just see them finishing first of this group. And the big upset, I see Jamaica finishing second. And I know it's crazy, but they've been. I don't know if you've been watching Jamaican team lately, the past couple of
I
years, or
haven't.
seen their
Yeah.
results. They've been actually been performing really well, and then they have really good players for the Premier League that play there. Um, so I feel like they're gonna create an upset, and Mexico is gonna go. I just predict a terrible tournament for Mexico. So I see Mexico finishing third here, and then I see Venezuela. I don't see them going past any of those teams, so finishing last.
Okay. All right. We've got Group C, the United States, Uruguay, Panama, and Bolivia. Why don't you take that one first?
I see Uruguay top of the group here, and the United States second, Bolivia third, and Panama last. Yeah, I think this is pretty straightforward here. What's your idea?
Yeah, I think almost the same. Again, because of the home advantage, I think I will put the United States at the top. The countries when they're playing at home in front of their own fans, it just gives them a little bit extra. And like you said, the US have a good team. They've got good young players, lots of experience playing in Europe's top leagues. So I'm going to put them first. I'm going to put Uruguay second, and then Panama third, Bolivia fourth.
Okay, so for Group D, we have Brazil, Colombia, Paraguay, and Costa Rica. Who do you have?
I think this so we have Brazil and Colombia in this group. Um, I'm going to put Brazil top. I think that is a fairly easy pick.
Mhm.
Um, I'm going to put Colombia second because they've got a great team as well. I know we talked about them when we briefly mentioned the Copa America in our first episode. I know you talked about them just a little bit ago here as well. Um, I'm going to put Colombia in second. I'm going to put Costa Rica in third and Paraguay in fourth. Um,
Awesome.
I don't know why. Just that's my gut feeling, and I'm going with it.
Mhm. Yeah, so I see Brazil first, and then I see Colombia second too, and then Costa Rica third, and Paraguay last. Uh, yeah, I just think that this group, I don't see any other person passing them between Brazil and Colombia. But that's very exciting. I'm very excited for this tournament. Honestly, I feel like we're spoiled. We're gonna be watching the game throughout the day at work, wherever we do during the day, at school. I mean, some people have summer school, so it's at school, or the lucky people like that don't have school can just stay home and watch it. um, we have the Euros, and then we have the Copa America. So this is very exciting. It's gonna be a big summer. Honestly, a summer
Yeah,
that I've always been looking forward to for a long
yeah,
time, for the past couple of years actually. So
yeah. These big summers of international football are always great. I know there's lots of conversations about the amount of games that players have to play in a season, and especially in these international tournament windows, there's a lot of players that don't get a rest, don't get a break.
mhm.
But I don't know. I mean, maybe that's a topic for another time in terms of
Yeah,
talking about the schedule and the fixtures and the amount of games that players have to play. But I think ultimately there's the players. I mean, all the players will tell you, I'm sure, what playing for their country means to them. Like it just, there's a pride for playing for your club. There's a pride for winning things with your club, and that's a great achievement. But every time I've heard a player talk about winning the World Cup, winning the Euros, winning something at international level, it just means that much more to them, and that there's that much more passion and excitement, and it's good to see the whole of a country get behind the team
hmm
when normally, it's this club's fans against this club's fans, and they're divided and against each other. It just kind of brings everybody together to support their country, and I like that. I think that's cool.
I totally agree with you on this one. Like the beauty of international football is that the players are not just there for the money. I mean, some players maybe if they play like in the fourth division and then they get a bonus, sure. But most players that, especially in the big tournaments like the Euros and Copa America, they are there because they want to be there because they want to be representing the country. I mean, Mbappe makes like millions of dollars. He doesn't need to go play for France and makes like a few thousand euros. So I think that this is the beauty of it, is that they are there because they want to represent their countries. The pride for them. They want to be there. They want to be make their country, their the people happy. And that's the beauty of that, is that the whole country is behind. I love like whenever a team wins and like the whole country is celebrating. It's just, and that's the thing about this beautiful game, is that it's the only sport that can bring those emotions. And like, I'm not trying to talk badly about other sports, because I love other sports. Like I love basketball, tennis, and some other sports, but football is just so special. You know, like I don't know if you remember, like when Panama was playing against England, and then you guys were winning like 6-0, and then they scored a goal. It was the end of the world. Like they didn't care. They scored a
Mm-hmm.
goal at the World Cup.
Mm-hmm.
I saw people in the stands crying, like, "Oh my goodness, my country scored a goal at the World Cup for the first time." They didn't care that they were
Yeah.
losing 6-0. And this is about this beautiful game that is the only sport that can bring those emotions
Yeah.
that no other sport can.
Yeah.
And yeah,
I think it's one too that wherever you go in the world, it has a reach to everybody in on every continent. Like it is the world sport, I suppose. And yeah, I agree with you. I think that's one of the things about football that's just makes it so great.
yeah,
Yeah.
definitely. So I'm really
Yeah.
excited, man. So I mean, I kind of want to. Obviously, you have the predictions for the Copa America and Euros, but can we just have one mention of the Champions League final before we
Yes,
go for today? Yeah. So this game was crazy. Obviously, I think you predicted Real Madrid, right,
I
to win.
did.
Yeah, and then I went for the upset, and then I was like, but I even said, I don't know if you remember, I said that if I had to bet money, I would have never bet against Real Madrid. Like if I
Mm-hmm.
have to bet any money on this final, I will go for Real Madrid, because you cannot bet against Real Madrid. But I went for the upset because I thought Dortmund had what it took, but clearly they didn't because they missed so many chances. And then
Yeah.
it's Real Madrid, man. They wanted to go to the final. You already lost. Might as well just give up. I don't know how to do it. It's annoying. 15, that's too many already. And then they have Mbappe. Oh, we have to talk about Mbappe too. Joining them. I mean, I hope it works out for Mbappe, because I like Mbappe as a player. He's amazing. I hope it works out for him. But at the same time, I kind of want him to stop winning for a little bit, to give other teams a chance. What do you think,
Yeah,
Elliot?
I agree. I think with the team that Real Madrid are building, we're gonna see maybe the Champions League's gonna turn into a farmers league. We talked about the Premier League being
Yeah.
a farmers league next
Hmm.
last time. Maybe we're gonna see the Champions League turn into a farmers league, but I hope not. I think the going back to the final, I mean, clearly Dortmund were the better team in the first half.
Hmm.
They had the better chances. They looked the more likely team to score,
Hmm.
and they just didn't take their chances. And at that level, when you're playing against that team, you can't afford to miss your chances, especially some of those big chances that they had. Um, and the longer the game goes on, Madrid's just gonna find a way.
Hmm.
Um, and they did. And I think once Carvajal scored the header from the corner, and then we kind of all knew like that was the
That
end
was
of
it.
it.
Yeah.
Um, their second goal felt bad for Dortmund. It was just a really horrible mistake
Yeah.
to just kind of pass the ball straight to a Real Madrid player, and you know Vinicius Junior is not going to miss that kind of a chance. Um, so yeah, but looking at what they will be adding to their team, also I do think Thibaut Courtois is one of the best goalkeepers in the world,
Oh
and
yeah.
him being gone, him not playing much this season because of his injury, I think him coming back is almost going to be like they've signed someone new again because it's
Hmm.
just gonna it's he's when you as a defender you must have so much confidence knowing that you've got that goalkeeper behind you if anything gets past you. Hopefully they're not going to win year after year after year, like we're seeing in other domestic leagues, and you know, with the format of the Champions League changing slightly, I don't know, maybe that'll make a difference. I don't think it will, but I think, yeah, anyone that comes up against Real Madrid next season,
Big
beware.
task. Yeah, good luck.
Good luck. Yes.
Yeah.
As you watched the game, how did you see it?
I mean, I think that Real Madrid, like, they found a way to make it happen. They were getting like they were not winning the game. They were like losing the game essentially because Dortmund had the better chances and they would dominate the game. And the second half happened and it was a different team. For some reason, Ancelotti like did some different changes and like he was like, okay, I'm gonna do this and that, and then the domination stopped, and then Real Madrid just found a way to score. And after that, I was like, okay, probably Real Madrid's gonna go. But then Dortmund started like trying to score again. They started trying to get back in the game. But unfortunately for them, they made that horrible mistake, and at this point of time, we knew that it was over for them. And then I remember I was watching. I was like, oh my god, how can you make a mistake like that in the Champions League final? That's terrible. You cannot do that against Real Madrid. And then yeah, it was over. But yeah, very exciting.
Well, I think that just about does it for today.
Yep.
I think we've got a big summer of football to look forward to. Next time we will, like you said earlier, we'll kind of know, at least in the Euros, who's made it through the groups, and we'll be able to kind of talk about our predictions for the knockouts once we've seen who gets through the groups. But for now, I'm really excited to see how the group stage goes, and yeah, bring it on. That's what I
Yeah,
say.
we'll talk about that next time, guys.
All right. Well, thanks so much for listening. Thanks for tuning in, and we will see you on the next episode.